time for your favorite podcast, The Musicians Talk Show. Here's your hosts, Dallas Dwight and Matt Tolley.
Welcome to the Musicians Talk Show podcast. You know what? It's episode 80.
Holy moly.
I'm one of your two co-hosts, Dallas Dwight.
I'm Matt Tolley.
Did you think when we started this last February, whatever, Matt, that we'd be sitting here right now doing episode 80?
I didn't think we'd be sitting here right now because I didn't know this place existed at the time.
Fair.
But I did think we would make it to episode 80, yes.
Follow-up question. Does anyone move more than me? Besides
Depends,
homeless
like
people.
money moves? Or are you talking about like, you know, was that Ariana Grande or something like that? Ariana Grande.
Is it really a song? Money Moves?
Money moves? Yeah, it's like a popular song. I hear it at the club all the time. You know me, I'm always at the club. Find me at the club.
Oh, God.
No, seriously, I have been in a couple
next
places.
week, don't come back.
Money moves, dude. I don't know who it is, but it's a song.
Ariana Grande is a good guess because I have no idea. So I don't know.
And she's popular.
You know
People
what?
like her.
It's time for me to enact this footrest here. Oh, yeah.
Recline, engage. Anyways, so yeah, here we are again.
Episode 80.
Episode
man.
80.
That's crazy.
We're getting
80
close
episodes.
we're getting close to episode 100.
Yeah, and we wanted to maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
because we want to plan something special for episode 100.
Yep.
What were you thinking?
I'm thinking we definitely like we've talked about this just a little bit, but we're gonna air it out here a little bit. We have some of our friends on, some of our closest talk show friends that we've had on, and maybe we recap some of the moments of the 100 episodes. We can recap maybe guests that we've had on, interviews that we've done, and we can maybe have like our friends talk about like those interviews and what they think about them, because they don't get to be a part of the interviews like we are, where we talk to we've talked to all kinds of people, some really awesome guests.
Sure, yeah, we haven't done as many interviews lately for several reasons, but
yeah, we're kind of making a shift and also not trying to bore everybody to death with just interviews, so it's fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we're gonna get some bigger guests too. We have some guests in the works that we're trying to get on, so we're definitely working on that still. But I think it would be cool just to go and talk about those old ideas that all the stuff we've learned in these first 100 episodes.
That's a good idea.
There's lots of little things that we've heard from people, and we're like, wow, that's really revolutionary towards the way you think, in your mind.
Or maybe to expand on that, maybe how we're different.
Yeah.
In 100 episodes of doing this podcast, how we've seen ourselves change and grow.
Definitely. That's a really good idea, because I bet there's a lot more than we think about because we're in it every day. But for the differences between where we were when we started this and where we are now, I think is a lot better headspace and understanding of where we stand and how to move forward, and in all facets, show wise, money wise, like every way you can possibly think of, and the podcast itself, how much the podcast has grown and how different it is.
Yeah.
Because it was almost strictly interviews in the beginning.
It was a lot of interviews in the beginning. We tried to do an interview followed by a talk show, and then we'd go all back and forth. Right. And then
eventually
we'd have a couple interviews in a row, and then we'd have a couple talk shows in a row, and then we'd have 5 interviews in a row.
Right.
At one point, I think we had as many as 5 interviews in a row.
Yeah. And then we kind of just took a break on interviews altogether while trying to secure some bigger guests and also trying to
honestly,
build the show.
The reason we took a break on interviews, I would say, it's kind of twofold. One, booking them is a lot of work.
Well, yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of work, and
just scheduling.
They almost never can fit in the schedule that works for us.
Exactly.
Can you imagine, like, Matt, Thursday at 9?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude, I'm at work.
Yeah, I'll be busy.
And we even saw some of that happen where I interviewed Jordan Rudess and I think Drew Scholes by myself.
Yep.
And that's not what I want to do. I like doing them with you.
It's fine, but and we
just did what we had to do for those special cases.
And some of those, dude, we've gone like Kevin
Bruner,
Rinkin.
Oh, Rinkin.
Remember, it took forever to line up.
Kevins.
It's not like it's not his fault, not our fault, but it just takes forever to line them up sometimes because schedule wise, and we really want to have him on and stuff, but
a year
make it happen.
Booking him.
Yeah. It was a year on and off. It's
because
like
we and it's again nothing against him, nothing against us. It's just literally how it works with people that are busy. But
of course,
we'd email and be like, "What about this date?" and be like, "Yes," and then we'd get it set up.
Something comes up
on his end or our end, and we can't make it happen. And we did that probably 4 or 5 times over literally 12 months.
And when we got him on, finally, it was a great episode. I'm so glad that we got him on.
We were stoked to do it.
But that's just part of the process, though, and to understand, like, the little understanding behind it is to get these people that are very busy and doing things all the time is not easy. And we don't want to bother anybody. Obviously, we're not trying to do that. So we're taking them as they come, and we're building our talk show as that goes too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I wanted to say is I wanted to be able to stand on our own 2 feet a little bit, our own 4 feet.
Yeah, exactly. We have a show no matter what, no matter if there's an interview guest or not.
I didn't want the guests to dry up, or my ability to get guests, or my energy to get guests to dry up.
We didn't need to be relying on
and then the show
that.
ends.
Exactly.
Because that's what happened twice already.
Right.
So
Totally.
I knew that the way to make this thing work for 80 episodes and not 24 like the first time and 40 like the second time is... Well, you know what? That's not
it's
fair. Because it was 24 of season 1 and then another 20 something for season 2. So it's 40 total.
Yeah. So you want self-sustainability. You don't need guests to make a show.
I want to be able to get together with you at Moe's in California, wherever.
Sure.
Plug up the mics and we can roll.
Yeah. So that's why I think too, and I think adding what we've kind of done too is added our friends on to just come on and chat too, because we talk about this kind of stuff with all our friends, and they have different point of views too. So it's fun to have them on and hear them just talk about the same ideas that we always talk about. That's why I think episode 100 would be cool to have, like, maybe we have Rasan and Kyle on, or my first 2 thoughts, because they've been on the most. That we have a nice 4-person episode.
Thinking out loud, what if we had a bunch of different people on for like 10, 15 minutes apiece?
Oh, not bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Throughout the course of the day, we could have like time slots. Like Rasan, you come at noon.
So we
Kyle,
break it
you
up
come at 12:15.
So we break it up and edit it,
Drew,
or
you come at 12:30. Well, we could do it all in the same session.
We can just have everybody
or do it on the Zoom, which would be the same.
Right.
And then we could do, I don't know, Goliath, whoever comes over and.
Yeah. I wonder though, it would be really short segmented. You know what I mean? It would be like we'd have somebody on for just like 15 minutes, have a quick little conversation, and then
what
have
if we
another
had
one.
them pick out their favorite moment or interview or guest?
Okay.
That way we're not asking them to listen to 80 hours of content, but like, hey, scroll through, find your favorite guest, listen to a few minutes of that episode. Pick out something you like. We can talk about that,
I like that idea. I think it puts a lot on them to do some homework and some research or whatever. So I think we should just pick some of the best moments that we've had. Some of the, because we remember for sure, just right now coming to the top of my head, Doug Roush was an awesome episode. Just to listen to him.
Funny, weird side bit about that. Pro Tools randomly remembers, so when I saved our template for our podcast, it remembers what you were exporting the file name as, and it saves that into the template, and that's episode 11, Doug Roush.
Nice.
So every time I export an episode, every single episode since episode 11, I've seen his name.
That's so funny. Well, I just think he was a really standout episode when we talked to him. I definitely didn't expect for him to be so enthusiastic and knowledgeable about this music industry that we live in today.
We've had him. We've been in talks with him to come back on as well.
Yes, definitely want to have him back on. But episode 100, we should just like highlight some of those cool moments where there was like something really profound said, or something that got us all thinking, or maybe something that made us laugh. Maybe a really funny story or something. And we just bring those back. We play them for whoever we have on 100, like whoever the guest can be. If Kyle's in town, if Rasan's in town, if whoever's available to be on the show, then we talk about it and we laugh about it again or whatever. Do it, kind of relive it. And then talk about, I don't know, we could talk about the changes that we've all gone through throughout this whole thing. I think that's a really good idea.
Alternatively, we have one major guest in the works.
Yeah.
And if that happens, we should save that for episode 100.
That would be great. That would be great if the timing works out, but you know how these timing things go.
But even if it doesn't, because it's probably not going to be super timely, the interview itself.
Right.
If the interview happens, it's going to happen over the next month or so, I would say.
Right.
It may not necessarily be in person.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Maybe it happens whenever. But
it is a big guest.
When we'll
really want to. What?
When we'll hit episode 100? If we're on 80 now, we could count 20 in the calendar. 20 weeks.
20 weeks.
See.
I can figure that out real quick. I'll figure that out.
But I don't want to reveal who the guest is because I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, including mine and yours.
Yeah, I know. Totally.
Because with some of the bigger guests, it's never a.
Somebody had a really good idea on Discord. I believe it was Wesley who said that we should have Nikki Sixx on. That's a great idea. Also a very hard guest to secure, but he does a podcast and he's
it's hard to secure pretty friendly because it's hard to it's hard for those people to give up too much of their time for free, without a very specific goal.
Of course, they have something to promote.
Okay, I'm promoting this album, so I know that I have to do press tours, and this is one of those kind of things, But then the question becomes, do I do this podcast with X amount of reach, or do I do this podcast with X amount of reach? So that's working against us as well because at episode 80, we can't really say we're a new podcast anymore, right? But we're definitely still a growing podcast. Matt's still counting.
January 26th.
All right.
will be 20 episodes from now. Just so you know. So that'll be 100. That'll be episode 100. January 26th.
26th.
Be ready for that. We're going to do something. Either it's going to be a huge podcast interview guest, like big name, or it's going to be something that we kind of go back and relive the whole 100 episodes.
I think we should do that anyway.
Yeah.
But whether that's episode 101 or 99.
Right. It's just going to happen. We need to do like a recap of where we've gotten to, because I think there's some big changes, and I really like the way it's gone. You know?
Like think about the fact that Prep and Barium and Ellie maybe were just kind of ideas.
Right.
When we started
just
this
that
podcast.
alone is huge. Yeah. We were like, we
I don't
both
think anything
been in
was
bands.
recorded.
Right. We have
Well,
both,
we had some stuff demoed at least. but
right. Exactly. But
nothing released. No shows played.
I feel like we both started this year. I would like to say, you know, and even
I
the
think so.
podcast was before that. Podcast we started
When was your guys' first show, would you say,
February 2nd.
of this year?
Yes.
Yeah, and ours was New Year's.
Yes.
So,
it's
that's
like
pretty
this
cool.
year.
We're on the same
I know trajectory.
Almost
yeah,
exactly.
So
That's pretty awesome.
That's why I really
I feel like you guys are our brother band.
That's what I think
or
too,
as
man.
they would say, sister band.
That's what I think too, actually. And I think it's cool to watch because we help each other along the way. We're at the same place. We're at the same, you know what I mean? And whether or not we even like go out of our way to help each other, we're helping each other in just the like knowing what our situations are and learning along the way. We're taking two bands and putting them in an experiment instead of just one band.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're always communicating.
And different
stuff.
but similar styles.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd both be under the rock.
Oh, we're
umbrella.
definitely playing. Yeah, we're definitely playing shows together and stuff soon. So I mean, I don't think that's gonna be an issue at all. But
yeah, we had talked about
do
getting
different
you.
things.
We talked about it on air, I think.
Yes.
But you, us,
Osara.
and Osara together.
No, yeah. So I still want to make that happen. And I think we were talking about Visual Life.
That will happen. It'll just be a matter of timing. You know.
Yeah.
Now we're dealing with. Each band is 5 people.
Exactly.
And you got all those 5 people have different schedules. So now you're dealing with 15 schedules.
Yep.
Well, actually, Osara's only 4. You guys are only 4, I think.
Right.
Too, so.
Exactly. So a little less than 15, but still, like 13. A lot of people, you got to make it work. But obviously, everybody in our bands are dedicated to playing music, so they know that they're gonna have to schedule stuff. But we should figure out where it's gonna be.
That's
when is availability for the place.
We talked about November. I don't think that's going to happen at this point.
Not at this point. It's too
because
close.
I think everybody was thinking someone else was going to do it, and then the ball got dropped.
Right.
So.
Exactly. We kind of nobody took the lead.
Somebody's
going to
have to take the lead.
Yeah, I could probably do that. I'm really interested in playing at Amos's. Skylark Social Club we still have not played.
Be cool. It would just be a question of draw.
Right.
You don't want to go there and have 50 people.
Exactly. Exactly. Skylark Social Club's a cool place, but that's a much smaller place. But we could definitely secure a night there. I'm sure I've talked to a few people or whatever and make that happen. Not the same thing as Amos's. Underground is another big place. I'm trying to think of like size wise
as well.
Yeah, exactly. We could make it more in South Carolina. Do it over there at Ground Zero or something like that. Do it like
I've heard Ground Zero is very, very bad.
Very bad.
Yeah.
I saw Crowbot there and Virgin Mary's there, and I enjoyed myself. That and Osara.
Was there anyone there at either one?
Yeah, there was. Well, it was the same show.
Rassam was telling me he saw a bunch of like really famous bands and that should have been packed, and there was no one there.
Yeah, like Crowbot should have been packed. It was not packed.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and Osara opened for him. It was a great show. But
I've heard that's the venue. It seems to be that way for every show.
I think where they're at, man, they're like way out there.
And Spartanburg is in the middle of nowhere as
That's
well.
what I'm saying.
Right.
It's like just not a good location, So
yeah.
But
I think we should keep it. I mean, if we move too far away, we're going to lose all of our draw.
It's true. We'll
lose what little draw we have.
Yeah, we'll keep it in Charlotte. Then we'll. I don't know. We'll figure a venue out. But I definitely want to do that show because I think it would be first of all just a great night of music. Second of all, it'll be with all our friends and we'd have a fucking blast.
We have to do some sort of closing final finale
something.
with everybody together.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Like we kind of did with the Carlo a little bit.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you what happened there?
You told me,
left,
but tell me again. I had to go. Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about it last week. It would have been, if we talked about it, it would have been last week.
We did. I think we mentioned it, but say it again. If it's
Goliath and I go up to do party with them, and I was thinking that he was going to be trading off with Tommy.
Right. And he ends up just walking off stage, and
Tommy
Goliath
just leaves
sang
the
the whole
stage.
thing.
Goliath sings the whole thing, and I was like, "Where's Tommy?"
How did Goliath do on it? Did he know the song really well? Good.
Oh, yeah.
Because like if you're planning on just singing some of the song, you don't learn
Goliath
the whole
knows
song.
He knows all of Boston.
Yeah,
so.
he knows Boston.
Yeah, I do not, but he does. I played
Cool.
my parts.
Yeah, so that's episode 100. Let's get that happening, and we also want to get that show together with us and Osara and you. Be great.
Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun. Seriously.
On the topics of schedules and all that stuff, we're considering doing another 24-hour EP sometime soon.
Yes, not even considering. I got my hopes up for it. I'm
we're
super
gonna
excited.
do it. 100%. We're gonna do it.
We just need to find out when.
Dude, they take so
And
much
who.
out of you, though.
I know.
Like
I
they
know.
take about 6 months out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
You're like,
really,
all right, I
like,
wanna wait
drain
about
you.
6 to 9 months before I do that again.
Yeah, they drain you. But it's a fun, man. Like I remember it being done with it at the end and being like, wow, we really ripped it out. You know?
I think we need to make the goal of 4 songs this time.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think we need to be less in the weeds about it.
Okay.
You know? But then,
So, like-
then the question is, let's talk about it here. And we want to hear from you guys as well. If you're in
Yeah.
our
If
Discord.
anybody wants to, if
If you're
anybody,
not in our Discord, just head to musicianstalkshow.com/sign up.
yeah, if you have any
that'll
ideas
direct
that
you to
could
our Discord.
sweeten up a 24-hour EP, like maybe just, you know how, who was it that one of our biggest guests, and I just drawing a blank right now, but who said it, but one of the biggest things is like your limitations. What you're limited by is a lot to do with what directs you, like, and where you. So if you put a limitation on it, say like,
Oh, that's Greg Howe, I think.
Greg
He was
Howe,
talking
wasn't
about
it?
Learning the,
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
He was talking about learning the Van Halen stuff, not
Yes.
knowing what tapping was, and he had
Yeah.
to learn it a different way, and that's
Exactly.
partly why he's so insane.
And exactly, it's a huge reason he
He's playing
learned a certain
tapping licks
technique.
in like these impossible ways that no one else does.
Exactly, because he had to think of a different way. He didn't know
Yeah.
about tapping. He never
No
saw
videos,
it.
yeah.
Right. So that's super interesting. That limitations, like even just putting one little criterion on what the EP has to be. Like if it was a different type of music, or if it was just something completely out there. You know what I mean? Throw one thing on it, and then that all of a sudden changes the whole outlook of this project. You know, and it's interesting. So if you guys have any ideas to throw on this 24-hour EP that could make it exciting, more challenging, maybe hit us up. Hit us up anywhere. You know how to get to us. Discord,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, wherever.
I don't know about challenging.
Well, I don't want it to be more challenging, but it just changes it. It changes the challenge.
I think 4 songs is pretty
That's a good
spectacular challenge.
It's very hard. Remember, we struggled last time did we get 3?
We got 3 barely.
Yeah, so that was
We almost tapped out after 2.
just for the record, 2 of our members slept for way too long. They were awake.
I think I
and
closed my
producing.
eyes for maybe 15 minutes. I can own that.
Yeah, I did not.
But Matt was up the whole time. I was mostly up the whole time. And I was also like running the computer and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
you were doing every part, so that's for you is especially
But our rhythm
strenuous.
section conked out.
Yeah, it happens.
They were zonked.
It happens. So this time we're probably gonna go with different people, right? We're gonna always try and keep the
It'll be you and me,
revolving
for
members. Yep.
And I liked your idea of having different people at different times.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how to pull that off because someone's going to have a time slot of like 4 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not gonna be good, and
Or
and also
maybe that's us like mixing or something. I don't
And
know.
also,
We'll have to
who
figure it
knows
out.
where we'll be at those certain times? We could set a time, say, okay, you tag in at this point, but then what if the other person's not done with their part yet? Right in the middle of another one.
Yeah.
It could get really difficult and
It would take
stressful.
some thinking. It'd be like a relay race,
Right, like
The
pass
only way to
baton-
pull that off
baton.
would be to have like 3 studios or 2 studios,
yeah, I
like 2
don't,
computers. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't think we're ready for all that yet. I think we just do this regular again. Like we picked 2 new members, 2 new guys that have never done this with us before that can play. Obviously, we're looking for like real players. I bet
I wonder if we could work
remotely.
remotely with like Harry or something and have him like.
That'd be great.
He's
It'd be
got
great if
his
he
own
can
studio.
come. I think he would make the trip. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask.
We could pay him. We could give him some money
Yeah.
or something. Or at least,
He's great. I mean, he obviously can play the shit out of whatever we tell him. Like wherever we're doing, I guess. Man, we'll have to think about this though, and get some ideas going. Who would be good
Yeah.
filler?
yeah. I mean, we
What
could call
about
on
Daryl?
friends.
Is Daryl?
Daryl be down?
Yeah, he'd be down. That'd be a good idea.
Um,
Yeah, we'll have to figure this out, man.
I want to try. What I liked about last one, with the exception of Rasan, is it kind of kept it away from my own band, which
Right.
because I live
yeah.
pretty much all my musical life
Exactly.
with the same people.
Exactly.
So it's
it could-
nice to kind of get out and do different stuff.
I was actually thinking I don't
Because
want
if I hang out with them, it's just going to be the same music that I write with them. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I was thinking I might want to switch instrument and not sing. I might want to play guitar or something.
You don't
like
want to
try-
sing at all?
Well, I mean, I can sing. Like
Then
I'm
we
not,
have to find a singer, and that's the hardest thing to find.
it is the hard thing to find, but it's otherwise all our 24-hour EPs are going to sound the same too, as far as like vocal wise. They're going to be like,
Yeah.
which is it's fine, I guess, but like we can really add some change up, just throw another singer in there, but we have to find the right guy, like you said, who's going to be down for a 24-hour
We
EP.
get someone like Quentin who plays keys really, really, really well and sings.
yeah.
Um,
Man, we really have to. That's a good idea. Keyboard player, adding a keyboard player to it would really be
especially someone like Quentin. Quentin played at the Evening with the Stars. You've met him, I
right.
think.
Yeah, yep.
And,
Yeah, he's killer. I was
just
drawing a
phenomenal.
blank.
And you didn't get to see it there, but a phenomenal singer.
Right.
He sings all over Bruce's stuff.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Well, man, I don't know. I want to think of some kind of like direction or some theme or whatever, something that's going to change this up and not make it sound like the same. I don't want it to sound the same as like the last one we did, or even like even, you know what I mean? just something different. It's a 24-hour EP. It's like an experiment.
What are you thinking? What's different? Now, here's a question before we do that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something we have to discuss? Because does that interfere with the idea of the 24-hour EP? Do you and I sit here and say, let's make a gospel record, and then we go in there? Now we've kind of ruined the whole idea.
Right,
of it,
and now it already has a
direction. The
direction.
idea is to go in there with no direction.
Right. That's interesting. But I guess, okay, so that's not an issue for me. I was just thinking like a limitation. Like, so it's not like it has to tell you what to do, but it tells you what you can't do. Almost like the not having no preconceived ideas, not going in there with a plan already or having a song. So that's one of the limitations we put on ourselves. We could put another limitation on ourselves by saying no 4/4 times, like nothing in 4/4. You know what I mean? That would be really hard.
But everything in 6/8.
It would be really hard, actually. It would not be hard, but it would be, because if you think about it, the last one we didn't have an.
Fine, I'll do it in 8/8.
Dude, but the last one we had a bunch of weird time signatures in. I think maybe we had
what ended up being really
Yearning
cool.
was 4/4, I think.
Yearning was 4/4, and the first song was 4/4.
Okay.
But the second one
was Tool, and it was like 9/8.
It wasn't. It had a bunch of 9/8, but other than that, that was the only odd meter.
I say it was Tool, but I mean like it had a Tool flavor to it.
Very Tool.
Yeah, it was very Tool flavored. And the new record, dude, I think about that all the time. That new Tool record.
Doesn't it sound exactly like it?
I was gonna say, dude, like
I swear, Justin plays the exact riff that Rasan wrote.
Yeah, right. Dude, seriously. And then I was thinking that too about the concept record. I was like, man, we're kind of like on point with Tool on the concept record too. Like, I feel like some of that's coming together.
By the way, the new record for Tool, I am really, really liking it. And I was
like
so
it
happy
too.
I didn't pass too much judgment on the first song, because I heard the first song and I was like, it's good. I like the song, but the production does not sound very good to me.
Right.
And then once I got the rest of the album and I listened to the whole album, I was like, okay, the production's phenomenal. I love it. It sounds great.
You
And
need to hear the rest of
first
it.
song production sounds phenomenal as well.
Right.
It just had to be in context.
I
I
was
couldn't
gonna
just
say
hear
that.
the single.
I was gonna say that.
And
Yep.
one of the comments or reviews or something I saw about the Tool album was someone posted this thoughtful review saying like, I love everything so far, but I can't say too much because an album like this is going to take me months to like fully digest.
Right. There's so much to
I
it.
totally agree with that. Like Tool albums, like I'm just now beginning to digest 10,000 Days.
Right.
And that was 2006.
Right. Yeah. And I haven't listened to it enough to really get into it either. Like, I'm not a big 10,000 Days fan. I really am a fan of early Tool, but this record actually, this new one has like nice little flavors of that early sound.
Yeah.
But it also has like the 10,000 Days element where it's just so thick.
But
and
you want to
deep.
talk about perfectionism. Maynard was saying in an interview that the album sounded fantastic in 2011, almost exactly like it sounds now.
Whoa.
Like, and they wasted 8 more years doing what?
That's
like,
the
we'll
Axl
never
Rose.
know, but
That's the
Maynard
Axl
knows.
Rose Chinese democracy thing. Yeah,
Maynard
exactly.
knows what's up. And what's so funny is it seemed to me like the first time he was on Rogan, he was saying that he was pretty fed up with that.
Yeah.
So he would just leave and he would just be like, you guys are not happy with it? Do whatever. I'm going on tour with this band. I'm starting a winery. I'm doing all this. He just goes and does his own thing.
Pussifer and whatnot.
Forgets
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And then call me when you need me back to do more stuff, you know?
So he's not the perfectionist
He's
element.
not at all, dude.
So somebody
It
else
seems
is
to me
behind
like
it.
he comes in at the last second, gets his stuff done, and is like, all right, we good? And they're like, actually, we want to redo everything. And he's like, all right, well, let me know when you need me. And he leaves again. Like,
That's crazy, though.
so
You know, like, I wonder who is the perfectionist element in that.
I get the vibe that it's definitely Adam Jones, guitar player.
Okay.
And it seemed to me like he was saying it was kind of the three
All
musicians
together
equally.
couldn't decide together on what one thing they want to do, right? I can see that.
I don't know.
I mean, they're talented as fuck. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Is like when you become such a talented musician, it's not about how to play something. It's what you're gonna play. Like, what do I want to say? What do I want to do? What's my next big, push? Like, what am I doing for myself or for everybody? You know, I don't know, man. When you're Tool and the pressure's on like that, it's got to be crazy. Just like Axl, in Chinese Democracy, I feel like that's the same kind of. Like, man, like he's got a top. First of all, Appetite for Destruction was amazing. Then Use Your Illusions was different, but still amazing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then he had to do something after that. And Lies, say you want, it's like half a live record, kind of acoustic. And then
I heard all the live stuff on Live was fake though. It's just, they just pumped in.
I think so.
audience noise.
I think so. I think I heard that too.
Which it seemed like I've seen interviews with Duff and stuff. It seemed like they did that as a joke. Like
Could be.
because the joke
Kiss
was
thing.
they were clearly playing like 200 seat
Giant
clubs.
stadiums,
and the freaking crowd sounds like 800,000 people. It's
you're saying that, so at the time they weren't playing big enough.
no, they were
stadiums.
playing tiny clubs like the Whiskey and shit.
Right.
And then they pumped in the audience sound that was literally like 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And they thought like, oh, everyone will think it's funny. It's clearly a joke.
But
apparently nobody thought that. Everyone was like, oh, you're faking live. Like, it's
Right,
like,
but
no.
I think though that even if it like whatever, it sounds funny because you know that they don't play in front of big crowds. If you hear it like that, it also like somehow gives it some kind of validity, like some kind of like when you hear a crowd screaming in behind these songs, it's like, yeah, these are great songs. Like, man, look at all these people are enjoying it, you know? So like, even though that's all subconscious, you're not thinking about it, it still has that effect when you hear a band playing their music and then a bunch of crowd comes in behind it. Then it automatically makes that song sound better. Like the song's like, oh, that's enjoyable. People, look at all those people enjoying that song subconsciously. This is not a real conscious thought you're having, but for some reason it does.
It's like a laugh track.
Kiss, dude. Kiss is famous for that. And like for a long time, nobody knew that those tracks were fake, you know, in the back of all the Kiss songs, Alive and whatnot, Alive 2, Alive 3, all those, they were pumped in afterwards. And all those songs were actually played in the studio in a live fashion to make it sound live. But then a lot of people didn't know that. And then Gene Simmons came out at some point and said, he's like, oh yeah, definitely. It was like, nobody can play that. Nobody can play a whole show live without missing any notes. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So basically he's saying like he would never put out a live album, saying he was like, we would have to go back and make sure it sounds right.
What's so funny is people say Kiss is fake and stuff, but every live album you like is like that. Every single one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's no live album.
Definitely. But I love Kiss, and I think those live albums sound great, mainly because of like, I don't know, the charade of it, like the in between when what does he say? He says, how many of you people like to get high? And you know, the whole crowd goes, woo, you're like, how many of you people? He just keeps going like this. There's like little shticks, I guess, to it. And then he says, how many people you like rock and roll? Stand up if you like rock and roll. And he says something like stand up for something, for what you believe in, or something like that. It's just getting the crowd pumped up. Yeah. And that's something you'd never put in an album, you know, because it's not, unless it's a live album.
Yeah.
And that's stuff may have been real.
Maybe all the talking.
Maybe they clipped the between the stuff. Like maybe they put that in from actual live shows.
Could be.
But without all the cheering and screaming.
I love the idea of Paul Stanley screaming all that stuff to an empty room of just like a studio. Like the other three guys are like drinking tea.
That's what I thought about. I wondered if how fake it was, or how much of it was in the studio, how much of it was from the actual live shows.
Was looking around like, we all feel good about this? Everybody's no problems at all.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Totally.
Nobody has any issue with what we're doing here.
I don't know, man. I wonder that. I'm going to do some more research, see if I can figure out like how, maybe there's footage of them in the studio making a live one. That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious to see them.
We're doing a live record.
Yeah, we're doing.
Oh, in the studio.
In the studio. Where you do live records.
It's a studio record.
Yeah. Man, I wonder what like their mindset behind that actually is like. I mean, obviously,
I think what's more common is you multi-track the full live show.
Right.
You have audience mics.
And then you clean it up.
And then you clean it up at the end. Yeah. So you go back and be like, I was really flat in that chorus. Let me hit that real quick.
Exactly.
Or, you know, I missed that guitar solo pretty bad. Let me cover that up.
And the engineer producer does their best to blend that in with the live sound that they got. Maybe they sing it right through the same microphone. And
now I don't know how Metallica's doing it, because they put out one for every show, don't they?
They record them live. Yeah, they're not touching it up. Those are actual. I've heard the mistakes that I've heard in live.
You don't really know how much they're touching it up, right?
I don't think they are any
for sure.
Well, you know what? I can't say for sure. And you know what? I actually thought that it was interesting.
Definitely a strategy, I think, to leave in a couple mistakes and fix the real big ones.
Yeah.
So people are like, "Oh, he's so good."
Yeah.
It's like, I missed a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I left a couple ends.
And it takes a week for them to upload those tracks.
Yeah, that's probably just mixing and consolidating, but. But
they would have them in a week, though. So do you think they could touch them up in a week, too?
Absolutely. I think it's possible that they could come off stage and be like, I fucked that chorus up. Let's go to the trailer right now.
Right.
And they probably have some sort of bus studio set up or something, and they go in there and polish it up. Now, it's also totally possible that they walk off stage and we're like, it was fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
I missed a couple things, but it's all good.
Exactly.
And I don't know is the answer. That's the thing. You never know, and no one will ever tell you. Unless you meet someone that's like, I was the engineer for all that stuff. Then he can tell you.
He can tell you, right.
But that'll probably be 20 years from now.
Yeah, there'll be some fucking interview.
Because right now, he's probably got a bunch of things signed that he can't say anything about anything.
Sure. But who knows? I mean, who knows? I would like to think that, because, I've seen Metallica a bunch, and they you put on a great show.
You went to, right?
Yeah, I bought at the time when, I forget what it was. Yeah, something like that. It was like $12 or something like that.
Dude.
For the FLAC files,
too.
Like
so in love with Metallica's marketing team.
Oh, man.
They are the best marketing team on the planet.
They've got to be. Like,
I don't know how much of that is the band's ideas and how much of that is a marketing team's ideas, but whoever it is, they are killing it, and they have been for years. Yeah. Playing in Antarctica
Yep.
The way they use social media, all the
playing
pictures
in
on social
Antarctica.
media of the set list with all the pics that the pics say the city name.
Yep.
Like the attention to detail is astounding.
Yeah, and it's great for people, like it's a fan. Like when you go to their shows, like you really do get a lot
All
from
the
it.
pics say, Metallica Charlotte.
You know, they dropped
what I mean?
that for a while on one of the tours we went and saw, the Death Magnetic tour, I believe it was. They would close the show with Seek and Destroy, and they would drop down these black beach balls that say Metallica on them, and they're just super sick. Everybody
Trying to take
deflate them and take them home. Yeah, they're made. I mean, they're made to be able to take.
As soon
them
as
home.
they hit the ground, everybody just grabs one and keeps it.
I did because I knew what to
Doesn't
expect.
hit it back up.
Yeah.
None of that shit.
I have one somewhere.
That's so funny.
Kyle has it.
You see them all fall. You think they're all going to keep bouncing, but they just go. Whoop.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. For the first maybe minute, they're bouncing around, and then all of a sudden they just disappear, and you're like, oh, where'd those go?
Yeah.
Everybody got one, dude.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool,
How
but they're
many were
hard
Wait,
to
how
deflate.
big were they?
Some of them were bigger than others. They had an assortment size, so you
mean,
don't
is
want
it
to
like a
grab a
beach ball,
giant
like-
one. Well, dude, some of them were giant.
Like the size of the TV?
Yeah, some of them were like probably 30 inches in diameter or
Jeez.
something like that, and some
Oh,
of them
the
were
TV's
small.
70.
Some of them were like little basketball size ones or whatever, and you
Okay.
can, you could choose which one you want to deflate, but then you realize they have a valve in them,
That's
and they don't
really cool.
deflate easily. So you're sitting there, you can either like cut it, or you could sit here and just push, like squeeze on this thing. So I sat there for the whole last song, squeezing one down, and we got one somewhere. Cool.
So
There's
funny.
a black
Matt, you enjoying
beach
the
ball.
concert? He's just curled up,
Yeah, yeah.
squeezing his
No, the
ball.
whole
like,
last song-
Where am I? I don't even know.
Searching, seek and destroy. Trying to pop the
I've
balloon.
never understood that's the infatuation with that song. I think that song is not very good.
It's thrash metal classic. Just
Yeah,
the way
but
thrash
it's
metal.
so slow, dude.
Yeah.
The riff is literally dun 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 dun.
You're doing it too
dun,
slow.
Dun, 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 dun. It's like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Like I understand if you're like dun 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 dun.
It is like that though.
No,
at
it's
times.
not that fast.
Yeah,
maybe,
sometimes.
maybe live.
Right.
But it's literally like dun 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 dun. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, dude. Killer song. I don't know, man. I don't know what's so great about it. It's fucking Metallica.
It also annoyed me that when
Kill
I was
'Em
in
All.
8th grade, we had like a battle of the bands, and every band but us played that song.
Right.
And it was
Really?
just like, what?
Yeah. See, that's something that's interesting. Like if you're gonna use that as a
So what it tells me is it's every beginner's guitarist's like wet dream. Like, well, I'm gonna play Seek and Destroy, and the other
Kinda.
song like that, Unholy Confessions,
Kinda,
both of
yeah.
which I do not like, and
Yep.
that's probably tells you why.
Unholy Confessions by Avenged Sevenfold. Definitely
as soon
another
as I
one.
started
that's-
playing guitar, everyone on my street, dude, check this out. They play Unholy Confessions, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 and they would never do it right either, because there's an open string in between all those.
Yeah,
dun
yes.
dun dabble,
Yeah,
babble,
yes.
babble, but they would just go dun 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 dun. It's
Dude.
like, you idiots.
I could tell you how many hacky guitar players I've seen try to play something, and I'm just like, oh my god, are you listening?
It's not correct.
Yep. So I don't know, man. I don't know what is that about. Do you think they don't hear it, or do you think that
It's yeah, probably a
technique
little
based they can't do it?
No, because if they're, I think they're just rushing. I
Right.
think it's just like, I got it. Let's do it. It's
Right.
like, well, you missed all the details.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, that's true.
now
too.
you're wondering why does it sound like the song? Like, because you missed all the details.
Yep. But
And yeah, it takes time to develop that. I think, like your ear.
big picture as far as what we were saying though, Metallica like has a killer marketing team. The whole Antarctica thing was just so they could say they played on every continent in the world.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
was
crazy.
probably Lars for sure.
Probably some kind of one of the
I
megalomaniacs.
feel like the way their team works is Lars is in a room at the end of a conference table, just leaning back, like playing with a ping pong thing, and being like, "We should fucking play Antarctica, dude." And then he's like, "Now you guys make it happen." He like
Yeah.
doesn't leave the chair, and everybody starts scrambling. Like,
Totally.
you know what we should do? Record every show
Yeah.
and sell it. And
Yeah.
the audio engineers are like, "Are you fucking serious?"
I wonder how much money they make. Well, they're probably recording the shows all for a long time. They've probably been recording the shows, right?
I've found this out the more I think about it. Every band that's like pro
Yeah.
multi-tracks every single show.
Why not? I mean, what if you
DeCarlo
miss
does.
something? What if you miss something? You know,
Carlo multi-tracks every show.
yeah. What if something happens and you want to have it? You know, like something amazing happens. Like it just seems like a easy thing to do nowadays with technology, and the boards are all capable of outputting. Even the X32 has a great feature.
You
that
can
does
USB it
that.
straight to the computer.
Yep.
Multi-track Pro Tools. Done.
Yep. You guys should do it. I think you guys should.
I think we should, and it would be really easy to set up. We would
Now,
just need
what
another
about like
computer.
what about like if you played like, for instance, the show at Amos's? How did DeCarlo record their multi-tracks there?
Same way.
So they have their own
USB
board.
there. Yeah, they did all their own stuff. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it would take a little bit of researching. And like, I'm not really interested in recording like variety shows. Like that's 3 hours of bullshit that I'm not going to listen to.
Exactly.
You know? But like original shows or maybe the original songs at the variety shows.
That's mainly what
like,
I'm thinking. I'm not saying record all your variety shows.
Here's us doing Treasure for the millionth time.
Right,
like,
here it is. Yeah, exactly. We really nailed it that time.
I really love playing Treasure actually because I shoehorned that solo in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No,
There's a couple of the pop songs that I'm like, you know what? I think a solo should go right here. And since I was making the tracks, I got to do that.
Yeah.
So Treasure was one of those, and I added this just shred-tastic lick at the end of it that I think
that
is really fun.
is what you are.
The song's so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Bruno
So
Mars is the shit.
what were we just?
We were just kind of riffing on the 24-hour EP, and then Tool, and then so and so.
Yeah, we got kind of off on the subject there, but what was?
That's how all the good topics come up, dude.
I guess so.
But I want to circle back to the 24-hour EP.
Okay, cool.
We don't obviously we're not going to decide now, but we need to decide. Let's say theme.
Mm-hmm.
We need to decide personnel.
Okay, definitely, and date.
That
Schedule.
will dictate date. I think.
Yeah, that will dictate the. Yeah, so yeah, let's start throwing around some ideas. Text me.
It might be this. Actually, you know what? This is the time last year that I scheduled everyone for December.
Right.
So it's that's about how much lead time you need.
And December is a good time because of the holidays. Most people have a little time off, anyways. Like we did it last time when we first had the days off. I think.
Yep, it was like
right before Christmas.
It was like the 21st. I think.
Right. Yeah.
I mixed it on Christmas Eve.
Right.
So it actually might have been the 23rd because I think I mixed it like the next day.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the calendar. I'm not sure when Christmas falls this year, but I know that I'll have a day off or two on that day. I mean, that'd be a good time to do it just to recover, like having recovery days.
You have to have one recovery day for sure.
At least one, right? Let's see. The 25th would be a Wednesday.
Okay,
Wow.
so we could probably do it that Monday.
Or yeah, like the weekend. Start the weekend there before or something like that.
So what we would do is maybe start
on the 21st or 22nd.
Let's all look at our calendars on the podcast.
Yeah.
Your screen.
Everybody
is so
can see
bad.
my pile. Yeah.
And this started on St. Pat's.
Yeah. Got one
That's
green
where
stripe.
that
Now I
big-
got 3 green
That's
stripes.
where that big crack happened.
Yep.
You've had that for that long, and this doesn't hurt your thumb at all.
No, and I should have put some tape on it, but
That scares
the
me.
glass pieces just fell out.
Okay, so 25th is Wednesday. You're saying like the 20th?
I'm guessing we could do any time from like a Friday night, like, or all the way into that. So whatever works for everybody else, that gives us a good chunk if we try and squeeze it in that holiday time right there. You know what I mean? So whatever works for everybody, because that's the thing. We're going to need some room for margin.
I'll have to work Christmas Eve probably for church services.
Okay. Well, don't worry about that. We definitely don't want to do it on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Let's
you're right.
do it.
What if we did, and this 22nd is going to be a big one too for church.
Right,
What
Sunday.
if we did, it seems like we need to do Friday to Saturday.
Okay.
And we could maybe start at like 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. or something like that.
Something easy to do, right? That way we go to bed
So
when
you
it's
get done like when it's time to like get off work.
and go to bed, wind down, go to bed, get a long sleep. Yeah.
Go to bed at like 6, 7, 8.
Just get a big long night's sleep.
Wake up at a normal time. So you wake up at 9, 10 in the morning and you're done. You're good. You're
That
back.
is the best way to do it, I think.
Didn't need any a lot of like when we first did it, Stefan was like, we should start in the morning, like 9, like after I'm fresh. And I was like, yeah, but then that means we end at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And now you're dead
all
tired.
day. Right. You got all
and
day.
you either have to stay up or you're going to sleep all day. Now your whole schedule's fucked for like a week.
Yeah, off cycle.
Instead of just toughing through, one night.
Yep.
And it is a little harder because you were starting at the end of a day.
You've already been a whole day of work and then or whatever, and then go in and put.
What
more.
I did the past time we did it is I just chilled that day. I slept in as late as I could. Which
like
for me ends
prepare
up being
yourself.
like 11 noon.
Yeah,
you know?
prepare yourself. Make sure you know you're gonna have a long.
I didn't get out of bed and start doing stuff. I just chilled, like laid around.
Exactly.
And then tried to handle it as best as I could.
It's almost like when you have a really big show, you like kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna work myself to death today. I'm gonna savor myself. Make
That's
sure
what I did
have a
that
good
week.
show tonight.
I was sick, where I had
right, and that's even tougher.
show the next day.
Yeah,
I was
'cause
like,
you're already
you know what?
run
I'm
down.
sleeping in until like 1, like the last possible minute.
Yep. It gives you the best chance for sure to make it through the night without being exhausted.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's cool. Let's get that 24-hour EP rolling. Anybody got any ideas? Hit us up.
Yeah. If you have any cool ideas that you thought of or would like to hear or think would be cool, here's a crazy idea, dude.
Oh shit.
What if it was just you and me,
Okay.
but then a lot of remote people?
Like people that just come in and like put in a little part. Oh, what are you guys working on?
Like people like related to the podcast. Like we have people in Florida, we have people in Nashville, we have people all over that we can call and be like, give them some headway. Like, hey, would you agree to this? We'll call you at this time. We'll work out what we're gonna do. You record it, and I don't know. It'd be really hard to pull off
because you have to have people that can record, that are capable of recording, and have the time available, and like they're gonna need to be really quick about it. The turnaround
Ready
times
to
have
go.
to be
Yeah,
so
yeah,
quick.
exactly. And they're probably going to be sitting
All
on
right,
their own.
similar
so that's
idea.
tough, but
That's where I thought you were going with it. I thought you were going to say that it's just me and you, and we're working on this 24-hour EP, and we have people come in like what we were talking about earlier, but they're not like for a specific song or they're not a specific time. They just kind of show up and contribute how they can contribute when they can contribute, like literally just based on their openness that day, for that 24 hours. Hey, are you busy? Are you open at any time for this 24 hours that you can come? Like Rasan, right? Because he's a player, he can come in and contribute to anything. Or anybody else like that we know is a player. Like, would you come in and just sit in with us for a couple hours or whatever and add something, contribute something to this? Because me and you could definitely lay down the basis.
To work, there would have to be two parts to it. It would have to be one part creation and one part like finishing with friends.
Right. So
like
the
you
first
and me
half,
would have to write 4 songs.
Right. The first half,
really,
right.
really ghost,
Yes.
like acoustic guitars,
Right.
Whatever.
Right. The skeleton of it.
Singing the melody or whatever.
Yes.
And then we'd have people come in and be like, all right, well, play bass.
Yeah.
Play drums.
What are you hearing? What are you hearing for bass guitar on this thing? Or what are
Yeah.
you hearing for drums on this? Right. That's interesting. That could be
There's
really
so many ways
could,
we can do it.
But here's the thing, and that the outcome of that would be very interesting. It'd be all of a sudden it'd be like a totally different thing because it's like, man, you got this keyboard player that came in on this one and just slayed it on the keyboard, but there's not keys in every song. It's not like the keyboard player felt like he had to be in every song or anything,
Yeah. Oh, so we'd play all 4 songs and be like, what are you thinking? What do you want?
Right. Or what do you hear that you like, that we've got so far? Even if we're not done, like if their time schedule doesn't work out, like where we have all 4 of our songs done and they show up and they're like, get to pick 4 songs. Maybe they don't have 4 songs to pick from. Maybe we've only got 2 songs worked out.
So what would be really hard about that? We'd have to write the big picture for all of them super fast.
Right.
Within like 4 hours.
Yes. And then have people just stop by but what would we do for the rest of it? Like we would have to
We'd have to have all the people come in the middle.
Right.
Which is going to be in the middle of the night and early the next morning.
Right.
Which is not a great time for people. And then we'd have to finish it all at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be, it's going to be super hard either way. I'm super down for whatever, but
just trying to think of logistically how we can make it work and if it works out. I want it to be smooth and fun too. Like we want to make sure it's not like stressful on anybody. Oh man, you said you were going to show up. I don't want any of that shit. That's one thing about having dedicated people. Like, listen, you're dedicated for the 24 hours. Everybody understands that. But if we do this thing where we have other people just show up at certain times or random times, then they might not take it as seriously. Or
maybe we could do 12 and 12 because no one has been more committed to this than me. And then also now you.
Right.
As far as like
12 and 12.
I'm going to stay 24 hours because it's our project.
Right.
But these other guys are coming in. They don't give a shit. Right. They're just going to be like, this is fun. I'll hang out. Now I'm tired. I'm going to lay down.
Okay.
Like,
so you're saying so we have some people committed for 12 hours at a time.
Or even 8. We have 3 different sets of 8 hours.
Right.
So that's kind of weird because then you still have someone at a really bad shift.
Yeah.
Like someone's going to be showing up at midnight.
But that might be somebody's perfect shift too,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. All right, let's figure it out.
I like 3 8-hour shifts or 2 12-hour shifts, but basically cycling through everyone in that time.
Right.
So like, hey, we started this song with Rasan and Seth, but now David comes in and brings it home.
That's interesting. Yeah, that could be interesting.
We'd have to have the same drum kit set up.
Right.
You don't get to bring your own kit.
Right. No, it has to be just set up. Everything's got to be ready to go. We'll just do a basic setup on a kit.
DI.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, this could be fun. I want to try
I like
something.
that the more I think about it. Because then what happens if, like I said, Seth has played, just for example, using last year's people, Seth has played the verse, but then David plays the chorus. You'd have multiple drummers on.
You could have a crazy
that
sounding.
That would be insane.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't think it would work exactly that way. Because more than likely we'd have 1.5 songs done.
And I wonder too about I don't want anybody's feelings to get hurt. It's like, well, why didn't you use my chorus or why didn't you?
No, I think everybody. If you're taking it that personally, there's bigger issues.
Yeah, I hope not. But
because it's just a big musical experiment.
Sure.
At the end of the day, you and I will make the decisions.
Right. And it's not like
everyone understands.
It's not like this is a band that has to sustain. This is a project that just has to make music and see what happens. It's an experiment.
Yep.
I love it, man. I've always loved the idea when you came up with it in the very beginning, and I heard it. I was like, oh, that's really genius.
I told you the League of is kind of what spawned that idea, right?
I forget what it was. It was something about being forced to finish a song quickly.
We were hearing some band that was basically ripping off Metallica with really basic metal riffs.
Right.
And I was joking with my roommate or one of my hall mates in college. I was like, dude, I could write a whole album of this in a day.
Right.
And then I proceeded to write a whole album of that in a day. And that was what the League of's music was those first 5 songs.
That's cool.
It was like a couple days, but
yeah.
I was jamming on that little Line 6 Spider in my my dorm room.
It's amazing what you can do, and it's almost that that Parkinson's law, it's like you set yourself a time and you give yourself, all right, I got 24 hours. I want to make 3 to 4 songs. You don't give yourself such strenuous restrictions.
Yeah, goals have to be
somewhat
achievable.
loose.
You can't be like, I'm going to do 10 songs in 24 hours.
Exactly.
I guess you could if you were like,
they wouldn't be that great. I don't think the songs would be that great. That's the thing. Like you
do 100 songs in 24 hours. They're just going to be really, really bad.
They're all 30 seconds long.
Yeah, and it's me just screaming really loud.
It's art. It's art. You can't judge me. It's art. Piece. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But it's interesting. The restrictions, again, the restrictions are what makes makes your outcome too. It has a lot to do with how it turns out. So so look forward to that. That's I'm down for that. Let's get that going. Like this weekend, I'm gonna fucking text some people tonight.
You and I, that's the first step. We need to make our list of people who we want involved, and we need to not edit that list. List everyone. It can be 50 people long. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
And then we'll start asking, and you will watch it whittle down to 4.
Funnels, bro. Ari's say on it. He says
not Ari.
No, it's not Ari. It's from
the dude. I can't remember his name. He's the guy that started Patreon.
Patreon, exactly. He says that the world's full of funnels. If you want something done, you don't just go to one guy and see if he can do it. You go to as many guys you can find, see if they can do it, see what you get back. And you'll have prices, you'll have schedules, you'll have different personalities you may get along with better. Like if you went with one guy, you're limiting yourself, and you're not going to be able to. You're going to be very slow
what we need
process.
to do to that end? We need to settle on the date, you and me, because we're the captains.
Right.
We pick the date, and we ask everyone, "Hey, can you do this? What can you do?"
Right.
Because we need to take the reins. If we ask everyone what they can do, we'll get 80 different answers. Right. None of them will be the same.
Yep. Well, let's make a list first. Me and you after this. We'll make a list real quick of some names that we think will be really good for this.
I think we should make a list. We should refine that. We should make a list of all the instruments we want involved.
Right.
And a list of all the people we know that play those instruments.
Well, it's names and instrument that they play and what they can do and contribute, and then we'll go through and we'll just see who's going to be the ideal people. Yeah. It'll be fun, man. No matter what, all our friends are so talented. Like we'll definitely have a good crew of guys and girls, and it'll be fun. I'm stoked.
Yeah. It's going to be super fun. That's going to, we don't need to talk about the 24-hour EP forever, but I do love talking about it.
Me too.
I love just
because it's
ideas,
a concept. Because it's a concept. It essentially is what it is. It's an idea to experiment. It's an idea to learn and grow. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm glad you said that word, and I'm glad you said Parkinson's Law, because that brings us to our concept album.
Yes. That's funny, actually.
We are... We've dropped the ball a little bit.
Yes. Well, we've both been busy in our perspective projects. Obviously, we both have a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And that project has kind of always been for me and Dallas. It's been like when we have some time, we have a day here, an afternoon here, we could spend on it.
And you know what? We never have time.
We don't have time. We need to make time.
We need to make the price. Yeah, it needs to jump up.
And we set our goal.
And it will as we get closer to the due date, because we're finishing it.
That's the Parkinson's Law. That's the Parkinson's Law thing about it. We said we would have it done by the end of this year.
December 31st.
Now that we've put some work into it for sure, like we've got some good skeletons and some really good like ideas, stuff like for it, but it is nowhere near being done.
I have not been putting in the time that I should be as well.
Me neither, right.
You can tell by what I've sent you so far that I work in spurts.
Exactly.
I don't send you an idea. I send you a fully completed 4-minute.
I think that's how most artists. I think that's how most artists do work, because like when you get good at your art too, like you're technically proficient at what you do. It takes is that the inspiration and the drive to want to put it in the effort. And once you want to put the effort in, it's almost like you can't stop putting until it's done. You're like,
I told you that. Well, that happened with
I know
whatever the most recent song I did, which I believe was song number 3. I sent you the first half.
You were just like, it was done, and it's amazing. I couldn't believe how
I sent you the first half, and then I was like, okay, I'm done for now. I'll send Matt this first half.
And then you finished
it. And then as soon as I sent you, I went back into it and finished the rest of it.
Yeah, by the time I even listened to for the first time, you already had it done. You were like, hey, listen to this. And I forget where I was. I was in the middle of something. I was like, I'll check it out as soon as I can. Right. I was somewhere that I couldn't listen to it. And I said, I'll check it out soon. And then like an hour or two later, or it was like late maybe. I'm not sure what it was.
That's right. I sent you the first half. You were like, yeah, I'll listen to it. And then I finished it and sent you the whole thing before you even had a chance.
And then when I listened to it, I was blown away, dude. It's a full song. It is a full song. It just needs lyrics. And vocals and lyrics.
What's interesting about that one, and I think we talked about it when Drew was on the podcast, it doesn't repeat.
Right.
There's no verse, chorus. It just goes part A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it's done.
I love that. It reminds me of like the Use Your Illusions gun stuff, where they really weren't worried about structure stuff as much. Like some of it
was. Always had interesting arrangements.
Coma,
Welcome to the Jungle.
Coma, dude. You know? Coma's one. Yeah, Welcome to the Jungle.
Crazy.
But Coma is like one of the ones for me that's like,
one of my favorite
doesn't even have a
songs.
chorus, you know? Doesn't really have a chorus. It just has verses.
Axl said on record somewhere that the end of Coma, where he's spitting out all those lyrics, he's convinced that's the best writing he's ever done and ever will do.
There you go, man.
You're hanging up the phone and you're whatever the fuck, and ain't nobody home. All that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I love it though.
And I love it because it's just so many lyrics. It's literally like 5 paragraphs of lyrics. It's just like, what, dude? Like, and they don't stop coming at you, and they're all like amazing lines. You're just like, oh, dude. So if you haven't listened to Coma by Guns N' Roses, it's 10 minutes long. Fight through it.
I think the record company wanted to axe it, I think, or something. They didn't like it.
And that's why I love Guns, dude.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't give a fuck.
They were like, "Oh, you're gonna axe it?"
I know Slash loved it. I know Slash was always a big fan of it. And he said that when they got back together, together in life, the Not in This Lifetime tour, they play it, and he said he was so excited to do it because back when they
never really
broke up, he never really played it. Yeah. So he was like excited to go and do it, you know. And how do you do that song without Axl? I was so pumped
to see that on the set because I was like, I knew, and I wasn't alive or aware a lot when they were doing all that tour. I mean, 92 was when I was born, and that was pretty much when it was over.
Exactly.
But I remember reading and knowing that they never really did Coma.
Right.
When I discovered that song and I discovered how much I liked that song, I remember reading somewhere that they never really played that song. Yeah. So when I saw that on the set list, I was like,
they did it in the very first. Yeah, I think they did it in the very first reunion show. But in New York, they did that song, and it was like such a huge hit. Like everybody was so excited to hear it.
Man, it's tough. We've started playing, like in our Guns tribute, we're doing Civil War. We're doing. That's probably the longest one. We were going to do A Strange in November Rain, but without a keyboard player and we don't want to do tracks, we kind of decided to cut those for now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We may revisit in the future.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
If we find
could always come back.
But
that's
playing a 7-minute song is tough. It's not like
Slash talked about Estrange being one of the hardest ones just because of all the different parts, like being really hard to play.
It's all about arrangement, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, when does this part come in? And then the second time we play the chords, we go C, not F. And
exactly. And this solo variation and that solo variation. And like
exactly. The first solo is going to modulate to B, but then the second one we just stay in G. It's like,
exactly. Lots of little, just tiny little modifications or alterations from throughout the song. So anyway, so the whole idea we were talking about that was because of the concept record. Parkinson's law is basically the law that the time allotted.
I highlighted it here so I can say it.
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion.
So basically, if you have a year to make an album, you're going to use up that year, and most of the work's probably going to end up right there at the end of it, where you're trying to finish it up. And if you would have just set your goal for July, probably could have finished it in 6 months.
Would have been done if you set your goal for March. It would have been done. No,
exactly.
Now what you came up with may have been different, of course.
And also, like I said too, like those criterion is also what limits you. So like if you give yourself a year, like you have a lot to think about, you know, and you can build and you'll come up with more ideas as you're putting these thoughts together. Whereas if you give yourself a month, like you're just going to come out with some quick ideas, you know, and they're going to be what they are. There's not enough time to contemplate them or even scrap an idea later, you know, like if you give yourself a week to make songs, it's basically like quantity versus quality. Like you can give yourself more time and your quality will probably go up because you'll have time to, but it might not though. Like probably is a dumb word to use actually, because it doesn't necessarily mean your quality is going to go up. Potential will say that.
Yeah, because and that's why I wrote Whitney's quote. Whitney Cummings posted something the other day that I really loved, and it said, "Perfectionism leads to procrastinations, which leads to paralysis."
Yes,
and that is what we are seeing here.
100%.
We are wanting to be perfect about this concept album. What have we done? Nothing.
So,
exactly.
Nothing's not the word. We have like 3 songs that are
2.5
are there, and then lyrics wise, we have a lot of work to do. But I think the groundwork is going to be in the music of it. And then we'll know how to lay these lyrics out over it.
Exactly.
And it's really already starting to come together. We have some really good, strong
Which
concepts.
means I need to step up my productivity on this
just
project.
On the front end of it. And then I think it's going to be more me at the end of it. Like I'm going to really have to pump out a lot. Exactly. And that is exactly what we found out in that last 24-hour EP is that lyrics were the hard part to muster.
It's been the hard parts at every single one of these.
Because lyrics are made to make you think. They're made to be deep and emotional. So you don't want to just spit them out. And they need to make sense. You don't want to just spit them out though. You want them to be something that's congruent idea, you know?
They're also the hardest to let go of. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to just be like, I'm writing this line and it's done.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? Whereas don't care. Next line.
A riff, you can hear it and you go, oh, that's a great riff. I'm putting that in the song and it's in. Yeah. Whereas a lyric, it has to be a good melody and the lyrics actually.
Did I say the word and or but? You know
right,
what I mean? Like
exactly.
change the meaning
all
of the line,
tiny little, right. The tiny little nuance of it all. Yep. But anyways, we are still working on that. It's
coming.
It's coming.
And we have committed to that.
We're
and
getting
it
it done
going
this
to
year.
be done, dude.
Yeah. We might.
You know
we
what?
might-
I'm feeling it. I'm gonna do one tonight or tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm gonna write some lyrics. Then I'm gonna put some time into
Or
writing
maybe
lyrics.
I'll finish that one that's a half.
Okay.
You know that one?
Yeah. That's
Really
a
heavy riff.
Yes. There you go. That'll be a good completable goal for sure. Knock that shit out. Cool. And I'm gonna definitely put some more time into listening to those, getting some lyrics written down. I had some really strong ideas, man.
I don't even think the best thing for you to do would be not to write lyrics. I think the best thing for you to do would
ideas.
be look at that
Yes.
Google Doc we made,
Yes.
and then listen to the songs and put a sheet of paper in the middle and just start writing like a paragraph.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, I am. Pretend you're the guy. I
You
am.
know who? Hey, you
doing
know who
X,
writes like
you know?
that? Somebody I just saw this, and I think you've said it
Paul
before.
McCartney.
Nope. Comedian Joe Rogan.
Oh, really?
He writes ideas, like just his whole.
He
like
types them on his computer. He
types
said.
them right,
Yeah.
exactly. So he'll
I've
write
listened
the
to
whole
talk about
thing
that
and
a few
not
times.
trying to make comedy out of it. Just take
Yeah.
an idea he has, some whatever concept that's in his head that he thinks it's weird when this happens, or he thinks it's strange when people do this. Then he has that idea, writes out a whole story about how this thing happened, types it out, and then finds the joke in it. Finds the joke in that story. Like, where's the funny part on this, and then builds it. And that's
Did you
interesting.
see that
to me.
Onion post making fun of Joe Rogan? It was like 5 questions about Joe Rogan. And number 3 was, is Joe Rogan a comedian?
Yeah.
And their answer was, in the loosest possible sense of the word.
In the loose.
Dude,
He is funny,
all
though.
the comments were a bunch of people hating on Joe Rogan, followed by a bunch of people loving on Joe Rogan.
course.
It was like, dude, come on. Like,
For everybody
why
who
can't, I love Joe Rogan, but also it's funny and I'm just going to laugh and it's fine. You know, come on.
Do you think that there's a some weird thing for everybody who loves somebody, there's an equal person that hates that person just
don't know.
because somebody
I
else
guess.
loves that person?
balance? Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I don't know if it's equal, because then everything would just be 50%. Everybody would be like half the world loves this
That's
guy,
true.
but half the world hates this guy. It's not always like that, obviously.
No.
But
there's
there
definitely
is-
a percentage that doesn't
But
know
there
that
is,
either.
it goes, I think the potential for people to hate you goes up with more people who like you. So if everybody's talking how
yes.
good this guy is, or whatever, they're definitely going to have people who
But
are
here's what
predisposed.
happens. We've seen it a million times, most recently probably with Greta Van Fleet.
Right.
They're gonna start being underground.
Yeah.
That's where everyone loves them.
Right.
Everyone loves
Exactly. The
them. Then
rumblings
they hit
of
that
them.
point where
Everybody
they're
loves
really
them.
big and everyone knows them.
Everybody loves them.
That's when the haters come in. Oh, fuck
Exactly.
these guys.
Exactly.
They're too big. They're too famous.
And then
I hate them.
then there's something about by the time they come out with their second piece of art, the hype is so big that
No,
they
it
can't
can't ever live
overcome
up.
it.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
can't,
whatever people are expecting
That's
is
how
not
Use
going to
Your
be
Illusion
enough.
was.
Exactly. It's the same kind of thing. That's the partial of becoming giant and becoming famous. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want a slow burn.
exactly.
You want a slow burn that you stay forever. Guns N' Roses is the perfect example of a band that burned so bright, so fast, they burnt out.
right. Exactly. I mean, and
They went from no money, no gigs to filling stadiums for 2 years.
And for a long time, no money, no gigs. Like, people don't realize the time frame. I think they were 2 years of just struggling. They're struggling their ass off, and then Appetite
I guess
came
they
out.
started 85, right? Yeah.
And Appetite didn't even do well when it came out. It did well.
It sat there for a year doing
Right,
nothing.
right.
That's
So,
pretty crazy to me.
It is crazy.
I don't think people talk about that enough.
And you know what? That's
That album was released to crickets.
I think that's a good thing for bands to remember, that just putting out an album, and if it doesn't do anything right away, to remember that it's not the goal here. The goal here is to make your best art you can and keep moving and keep progressing, because you never know when that's going to happen. Like Sublime, how about the fact that they came up with that album, and then he died before the album was even released, Bradley Noel, and then by the time when it came out and it was a huge success, he was already dead. He was probably depressed because his music wasn't doing well, wasn't making a good living. But if he would have hung out for another year or two,
Have you seen that meme? It's not really a meme, it's kind of a cartoon, but it's a picture of a guy, a miner, digging a tunnel this way. And you see all of these gems and gold and stuff.
On the other
And he
side.
has the tiniest sliver
Yep.
but to go.
Yep.
And he turns around and leaves.
Yep.
And it's you never know how
You
close
don't-
you are to success.
I
You
always
you
tell people
cannot
that.
give up.
I always tell people that, especially my friends that have depression and
I
deal
need to
with it.
find that and show you.
That's a really good one. I like that.
It's a great picture,
metaphor.
but me describing it is idiotic.
No,
You
I
need to
got
look
it.
at
It's a guy who's in the tunnel. He's almost to the
There's
goal.
two
He
guys.
can't even
There's one
see.
at the top. He keeps digging. He reaches it and he's cheering. And the one in the bottom is walking away I just dug for so long, I'm never going to make it.
Exactly.
Not knowing if he had hit one more time,
Yeah.
it would have been the one.
That's the case, man. You never know. So that's the thing, is you find what you want to do and what you want to, how you want to spend your life, and do it. Don't worry about when the success is going to come, or don't be ready for it to come all the time. If you're waiting on it, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills this week, but maybe next week I'll be famous and I'll be able to pay my bills next week. You have to be sustainable. You have to be able to carry yourself, and
you have to be realistic
along
and
for the
reasonable,
ride.
too.
Definitely be realistic. I mean, music is so subjective. You never know what's going to hit. I'm trying to think of something that was very unlikely to hit, and then all of a sudden, like, it's the most famous thing ever. Like, what band would be like something?
Nirvana.
Nirvana, maybe, yeah, because they were so not
any band that
care.
starts a genre.
Right,
I would say.
right, yes.
Because you're always like Beatles, even, you know,
the Beatles, yep. So, but it takes
Zeppelin,
time.
so many people said they sucked.
Yep.
They were never going to do anything.
Yep.
That's literally where they got their name.
And it just takes so much time for people to find out about you. You know, even in this day and age with the internet, the biggest problem now we have is saturation, not
sure.
exposure. Like, you can get yourself out there, but I mean, I guess it kind of comes back to exposure, but it's the fact that you have to sift through all the other things to find
and the
one
biggest
thing.
question is, why should I care? You know?
Exactly.
Why should I care about your band? There's 80 other bands right here. Why do I care about what's your deal? Why do I like you? You know?
Yeah, and I mean, the music's going to be strong. Obviously, that's number one. That's a given. You have to make strong music, but it's not formulaic. Like, there's not some hit song that all I need to do is write a hit song and that's it, or whatever. Right? You can stumble upon something that you would have never came up with trying to think of monetary success, but then it does become successful because it's so different and unique. I don't know. There's just so many ways to look at it, but the biggest thing is just be true to who you are and do what you want to do with your life, so that way you're not doing it for somebody else, and then when that doesn't become successful, you're not at a loss. If you are doing what you truly want to do and it doesn't become successful, it's fine. You're okay because you're doing what you want to do.
We've also heard and seen stories where people change what they want to do to be successful,
right?
Which I think is the actual definition of selling out.
That would
if you're doing what you want to do and you make a ton of money, that's not selling out.
Most people
if you change what you're doing because you wanted to, i.e. Saint Anger,
right,
and you still make a ton of money, that's still not selling out.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Most people get confused.
If you're doing shit you don't want to do to get famous, that's selling out.
Right. Most people will just throw that sellout label onto any band that is making,
when their
making
band
money.
Got famous.
Well, yeah, just because they're making money, they don't see it as like artistic direction. Like, if
everybody said Metallica sold out with the Black Album, dude.
That's crazy. Like, that's a great music. Like,
Lars has the best response. Have you seen that documentary? What? They call us sellouts. Sure, we sold out every ass and every seat of every stadium we ever played.
That's good. That's amazing. If that's what,
can't argue with that, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a sellout. No, but just trying to be what's popular. Like, if you today, I decided, mumble rap's popular. I think I'm going to give up on this rock and I'm going to go mumble rap
for sure.
Yeah. Matt,
but you're insecure. You don't like it.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right. Exactly.
If you decided that mumble rap was the shit and that was your favorite thing ever,
then that's artistic direction. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's probably next to impossible to get famous selling out. I don't think anyone's ever done it.
If you're chasing a trend, you're on the wrong end of it. It's already happened and you're trying to copy it.
There's also the problem if you get into mumble rap today, there's people that live and breathe it. Right. There's people that know so much about it that you don't have it, dude.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, how are you gonna come in and break into this scene and do better than what
it's like
people
a rapper
live their life?
trying to get into rock. It's like, dude, I've lived in rock my entire life.
Hey,
like,
how about a sports analogy? When Michael Jordan quit basketball and went to play baseball.
Yeah.
It's like, he's like, oh, you think you're just gonna play baseball now?
I mean, let's
people
be honest,
live their whole life.
Sucks.
But there are all I'm saying is that there are super athletes that can do it. Like, there's
definitely
that could have, like, maybe, but it's also not likely that you're gonna come and break into a sport that people have spent their whole lives obsessing over, and you're gonna be better than them. I don't know.
Well, the other side of that is you might bring something to the table that no one's ever thought of because you're so outside.
That's true. But baseball, what are you gonna bring to the table?
What if I bring guitar to rap?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Anyway, you know what I mean?
So there are breakout ideas, but also, like, you have to go about it. You have to go about it the perfect way. Like, it's such a small margin of error and that kind of thing. Those mashups or mix-ups of genres, sometimes they don't fucking work. How about
rap rock?
Pop country, dude? Pop country's got me crazy. Rap rock is, Body Count. What else?
Head PE. You know them?
Yeah. Head Pay. I always call them Head Pay. Is it PE though?
I
it is.
I always said PE. There was a dot in between them.
It's dot in between them. It is Head PE. So
Head Physical Education.
And what else? Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys. How about Beastie Boys?
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Like, they took
kind of rock.
They literally have Metallica riffs in their songs that they sample. Or Metallica songs or Led Zeppelin songs.
Vanilla Ice.
I mean, he stole it. Rap rock.
I mean, he did do it.
There's a lot of, like, crossover type things. The pop country nowadays is really sickening.
How about
to
country
me.
rap?
Yeah. Well, that's close to the pop country.
Shoot me in the face with a shotgun.
Yeah, it's no good. That's not my thing. But it might be, maybe through evolution, that genre really does get better. You never know. You know what I mean? You'd have to hear it. You'd have to fucking know what's coming, but nobody knows what's coming.
I definitely have my preferences, like, to genres.
Yeah.
But I don't hate a genre. It's like
you're not close-minded to other genres, right? Yeah.
If I hear a country song that I like Chris Stapleton,
Right.
which is funny because I'm sure everybody says that. But
He's a
it's
great
like,
singer. Amazing
if
singer.
I catch on to something because I like something about it, I like it. I don't care if it's country or
Right.
rap or whatever. There's
Right.
definitely rap songs I'm like, that's sick, dude.
Yeah.
But then most rap and most country, it's safe to say it's not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
You won't find me listening to it when I'm working.
Yeah.
You know, I don't actively hate it. I'm not one of those people that's like, I'm going to throw up. That's
No,
equally stupid.
Well, that's obviously naive to say stuff like that.
So many people in my high school and just kids probably, but you know, dude, I hate country so much. I'm just going to vomit.
I feel like I could catch
Wow,
myself.
really?
I feel like I could catch myself saying that stuff as a dumb kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
just like not thinking and just being like closed minded to some type of music that's like, oh, that's different. I don't like that. And
if I hear
and
something that I
sad.
really don't like, I challenge myself to find one thing that I do like.
Right, that's a good thing.
Like, I really hate this song, but that snare tone is phenomenal.
Trying to find the positive in anything. Like finding the negative almost stands out. Anything you don't like will stand out so fast. But like trying to find the positive, you have to really like. I mean, it'll stand out too, but I don't know. There's something about it. Like you'll appreciate something more when you start looking
That's
at
just
what's
a good challenge too.
Yeah,
and it challenge you to really listen to the song instead of just being like, hate it.
Right, exactly.
For
You actually
example,
have
with
to
a lot of
listen.
country, where I think they really shine is lyrics.
Right.
Their turns of phrase,
Oh.
their way to rhyme, their way to tell a story
Storytelling,
is
yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Where even if I may not like the banjo, oh dude, what cracks me up so much
Banjo.
is when people write like what's clearly a rock song.
Yeah.
And they add a banjo to it, and then
yeah.
all of a sudden you see the genre tag change to country. It's like, dude, this is a rock song. Like,
Yeah.
what was that? But
that's the
guy
idea of
from
taking-
Hot Shell Ray that Harry played with. That song I showed you, "Float Your Boat."
Yeah.
Clearly
yeah.
a rock song.
Yeah.
And it's like got a banjo solo.
Right.
And it's like, what?
And that's it, man. That's the power of like the crossover really is like taking something
God.
that you know is successful in one genre and then you add the element that's successful in your genre or makes it really like flavored your genre, whatever, or another genre. You add those elements together and now all of a sudden it's weird how you see a song change tonality and be a different genre, be a different, just from one instrument. Like you're saying, like add the banjo to any song, it's going to start sounding more Southern or it's going to sound more country. It's going to have something like a different flavor, bluegrass, you know?
That's so funny. You just said bluegrass. I was about to ask you, is there one genre that you just not hate, but just could not care less about?
There's more than one, I think.
What you got?
Mumble rap. I couldn't care less about it. I do not like bluegrass. I don't like the
Bluegrass
sound
is
of
the
a
one
banjo.
for me. Bluegrass is
I don't
the
like the
one that
sound of a
anytime
banjo.
someone like says the word bluegrass, I immediately zone out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, well, I have no further things to add to this conversation.
Yeah, to
They
each
turn
his
into
own.
they turn into the teacher from Snoopy. Wah, wah, wah,
Yeah,
wah,
yeah,
wah.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
just staring at
Yeah.
him like, yeah, cool. Like,
Yeah, to each their own, but I don't like the tone of a banjo. Like, I don't like the twangy sound of
very
it.
interesting.
I don't think it's...
I don't mind the sound of a banjo, but I don't like bluegrass very much.
Well, as soon as I hear a banjo, it's what makes me think of bluegrass, and it
That's a
automatically...
fair point. That is the instrument.
But, like a guitar tone has so much warmer and richer tone in it, and banjo just seems thin and twangy, and that to me is boring. I don't know, it just doesn't... I don't see the difference. If I could have one or the other, I would have a guitar all day long, you know? I don't need a banjo. I don't see the necessary... What's the necessity of a banjo unless you want that specific
Different
sound
tone
that...
color.
Bing, 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 bing,
Yeah.
bing, bing. If you want that
That's
sound,
why.
that's what it does.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. So I just don't like the banjo, but other music that I could just care less about. EDM, I'm really I don't
That's
mean
a good point.
There's
Yeah, I'm
some
kinda
of
the
it.
same
There's
way.
some of it that's like
It all bleeds together so much for me.
yeah. I don't know. Just hard. And everybody. I mean, I'm not hating on anything. All I'm saying is that like stuff that doesn't connect with me as well.
Yeah. On a whole.
Anyways,
Um,
we're running over time, bro.
yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about while we have it sitting in front of us is just the sticker bomb guitar.
Oh, dude, yes, we have to talk about this. We
Let
just
me,
went to Lowe's actually.
Let me check off what we've talked about while you talk about
Yeah. So the sticker guitar that Dallas has been building, which what did I mistake you for saying? You said that guitar there, and I said Dragonheart or Dagenheart.
Dagenheart.
I said the Dagenheart guitar. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
Yeah, I was chewing a sandwich and Matt said something. I said that guitar, and Matt said, "What'd you say?" And I swallowed. I was like, "That guitar." He's like, "I thought you said Dagenheart."
I thought you said the Dagenheart over there, and I was like, "Whoa, the Dagenheart! He's got a
I
name
said
for
that
it."
guitar.
But anyways, so this sticker guitar, which we're gonna post a picture of this guitar, the body of it, what you've got done, because it's so fucking cool. But you got all the stickers on this thing. It's still
It
torn
was
apart.
a black Ibanez Geo that
Yep.
I then this week was my goal to sticker it, and I completed that goal. I stickered
And then
the hell out of
we
it.
just went to Lowe's and got some clear coat. So now we put a nice thick coat of clear on it. We're gonna put some more on it.
It seems to be pretty dry.
Yeah, it'll tack up pretty quickly, but you got to put some more
So we can
coats
put
on
one
it.
more on it before
And
we
then
leave, maybe?
then sand her down, and it'll be smooth as a baby's bottom, and it's gonna have all kinds of character.
I can't wait,
Smooth
man.
as a
This thing's gonna be
baby's
really cool.
tuchus.
I don't want to post any of the pictures till it's totally done.
Okay.
But
okay.
we'll chronicle the process.
Yes.
But I don't want to post them all.
All
until
right,
it's
cool.
Totally
Then
done.
it's a secret. Sorry, guys. You have to wait.
But you will see it for sure. Also, I must say, wildly inappropriate guitar.
Oh, yeah. It's
There's
got
so
lots
many-
of vulgar stickers
Yeah.
on there.
I literally Googled vulgar stickers on Amazon and got a pack of 400 of them,
It's
of
cool.
which probably 280 are on this guitar.
Yeah. There's
Dude,
some cool
I have
stickers.
I have like the stack was like that big. There's
Yeah.
like that many left.
Yeah, there's like girls making out. There's
Yeah.
the word fuck on like, I can see 3 fucks right now just from where I'm sitting.
And this is
Bitch.
on the front.
Yeah, it's on the very front of the guitar.
There's so many middle fingers. There's a lot of
girls
butts and
making out.
boobs.
Yeah, girls making out. It's awesome. I'm down.
Skulls.
Yeah,
like,
I
dude,
love
it's
it.
just it's amazing. I
So
love
anyway,
it. It's,
so-
it's,
and you did
it's
the
basically
headstock.
Spencer's gifts in a guitar.
Yeah, and you just got so you got the slash pickups going in it. You got the hip shot bridge, right?
You've heard of those? Do you like those?
They're apparently high. They're very coveted. People like
I've
them
heard,
a lot.
and they're a lot of people like them on Ibanez specifically.
Perfect. Yeah.
I don't. I
It
guess
should
you
bolt
can
right
put them
on.
other places, but
Yeah.
um,
So the slash pickups are going to make obviously give it a great tone. You
Yep.
got new tuners
nice
for
Grover
it.
tuners that are
Yep.
locking,
Yep.
volume knobs. You know, just the whole
Strap
thing.
locks.
Steve Vai wiring kit. So it's going to be kind of an amalgam of a bunch of different things. But
it should be a
pretty
shredder.
cool.
It should be a
a
shredder.
nice little guitar. By the way, I decided I'm just going to keep the neck.
Okay.
I was looking at a bunch of other necks and
Keep it.
just looking at the price. I was like, this one's fine.
Yeah, and it's cool that you're
And I
covering
love
up
it.
top anyways, you know?
It plays so good. Like
Yeah.
the only thing I don't like is the fret markers, and I can live with that. So
Yeah, not a big deal. Cool. This thing's going to be a shredder. I can't wait to see it all put together and listen to it.
yeah, man, I just got to figure out how to implement it into the set.
Yeah. And I'm
So-
going to be building a new guitar soon. Well, let's not even talk about it next.
Yeah, we're
We're
having it
running
on the
over.
list for next time.
All right, let's talk about it next time. But
We have a lot of things on the list for today that we didn't get to, which means we have next week's already set.
perfect. Yeah, we came up with a bunch of ideas today.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up.
All right, man. Let's
All
put one more coat of clear on this bitch.
Yeah. All right. Cool. See you guys.
Thanks for listening, and see you next week on the Musicians Talk Show.